Biology Part 37. The side-to-side movements needed for grinding or mastication of food produced mainly by alternate contractions of the medial pterygoid muscles. These are attached at one end to the inside surfaces of the mandible and on the other to the bony floor of the skull. Their position and the action can be visualized looking up into the skull from behind in the figure. This mouth is specified by the lateral pterygoid muscles which pull forward on the mandible at the gliding joint formed where it articulates with the skull. Tongue. The tongue is the mass of tissue attached to the floor of the pharynx, and at the back of the mouth it contains numerous internal muscles, and its main function is the digestion, is to move the food around in the mouth so that it can be acted on by the teeth. Taste buds located at the tongue plays a part in the food selection and stimulate the production of saliva by reflex action. Saliva is watery liquid released from the salivary glands. Flow is continuous at the rate of about 0.05 cubic centimeter per minute, but increases when food is present. Water in saliva helps to dissolve soluble materials in the food, and mucus in the lubricates the food mass, enabling it to be swallowed. Saliva is nearly neutral, pH 7, and contains enzymes salivary amylase, sometimes called ptyalin, which acts in starch in the food and breaking it down into maltose. Food remains in the mouth only briefly, but when the food mass is swallowed, it is shaped into a ball or bolus. Salivary amylase continues to work inside such as bolus even when it is transferred to the acid environment of the stomach, pH 2. Eventually, when the acid penetrates to the center of the bolus, the action of enzyme is inhibited, but this time significant amounts of starch have been digested. Like many other body secretions, saliva contains the enzymes isosomes which attacks the bacterial cells walls, and its action helps to keep the tongue and the teeth clean and free from infection. Swallowing is a complex reflex activity which occurs automatically when a bolus food reaches the back of the mouth. The food mass is propelled down the esophagus by a wave of muscular contraction called persittalase, and the Coulter's stomach when the muscles of the cardiac sphincter relax. And that's how we move along. Digestion in the stomach. The human stomach is a hollow J-shaped bag closed at the top by the cardiac sphincter at the lower end and by the pyloric sphincter. Food taken in at the meal can be stored in the stomach for several hours. During this time, the food mass is churned by rhythmic waves of contraction which pass along the stomach about once every 20 seconds. At the same time, the food is acted. Well, I beg your pardon, please. Right now I'm talking about the digestion in stomach. Well, we have started the mechanical, we have been telling you about the mechanical aspect of the human digestive system. And this is where we have talked about teeth, we have talked about tongue, we have talked about saliva. And then of course we have been talking about the ailment canal as well. We'll talk in the next video.